Hi, I'm Hadley from She Rises here, and thanks so much for joining me today for your practice. I have a 15-minute Pilates mat class for you. You don't need any props, but if you'd like to have a towel or a pad to be underneath the knees, you're always more than welcome to have that. Otherwise, let's grab our mat and let's get started. So I have us down onto our backs to begin. And we have the arms just down long to the sides. Feet are lined up with our hips. And the movement begins with just some tilting through the pelvis, connected with our breath and with our core. So I'm going to open my arms out wide just so you can see my back a little bit better, but your hands can be wherever they need to be. So on my exhale, I tilt my back to the ground and contract with those abdominals. Inhale, we feel a little of the arching of that imprint moving away. Exhale again, curling, tilting. Inhale, tilting away. Exhale. Inhale, reach out. Let's try that one more time. Exhale. Inhale, tilting away. Now let's find our neutral spine. A little bit of space away from the ground, but you're not completely imprinted. Arms are down long to the side, and we take this into our articulated bridge. So begin to roll, tilting through the hips, lifting the hips up to where we're not arching the back, but we're feeling core, we're feeling glutes and hamstrings. Starting from your upper back, we begin to roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Good, we're gonna take this just a few more times, starting to scoop, roll and lift. And then again, rolling back down. It's like a wave through your spine as you roll. Let's take this again one more time. Curling, lifting. And then nice and steady, setting it back down one vertebrae at a time. Stay on your back as you take your left leg long and right knee into the chest. Hands come across the front of the knee in front of the shin, and we curl up and then float the opposite leg. We're getting ready for our single leg stretch. So one knee in, and then we switch, and switch, and switch. Trying to feel your belly draw up and away from those thighs, from those incoming knees. I try to keep my chest lifted, gaze forward, right out in front, versus looking up to the ceiling, which could over fatigue the neck. Stay with me, alternating these legs for these last 4, 3, 2, on 1. Bring the left knee in, relax your head and shoulders for a moment, and then take the hands behind the back of the left leg. We're gonna take just a few rotations of both ankles, starting to mobilize through those joints a touch as we also feel just this nice stretch through both legs. From here, begin to curl back up, head, chest, and shoulders, walking the hands maybe a little bit higher up the back of the leg. I'm in a crunch position once again, and we switch. Bringing one leg in, and we switch. Okay, continue with that alternating pull. I'm trying again to keep myself pretty centered here, so I don't want to feel like I'm shifting too much from the left to the right. Good, we alternate for 4, 3, 2, on 1. Hug both knees into the chest, and again, just let your head settle for a brief moment. This last variation here, we curl up head, chest, and shoulders. Hands go behind the back of the head this time, and straight legs reach up to the sky. Both heels start to lower, and both legs start to lift. It's a double leg lift and lower. Now, if I had my head down, that will be some really intense engagement here, muscles around the spine. So I'm giving myself just a little bit of support by keeping my head lifted today. Good, notice when the legs reach out in front of you that you don't let your back overly arch away from the ground. So I'd say you're only going as far as you're able to find that sense of control. We'll take these last 2. And that last one. And then relax your head and shoulders. Excellent. All right, I'm coming to rise up onto my right hand side. And I'm starting up onto the forearm. If this feels like too much pressure in your shoulder, know that you could always lay down with your head being supported in your hand. So starting with the knees bent, I'm going to take my top left leg and reach it forward as a sweep and flex to bring it back. When I have my bottom knee bent here, this is a little bit more anchoring. If we bring both legs out long, here, it's a little bit more challenging. So I want you to find where your sweet spot is for yourself, to where you feel like you're in control of the core and you feel like your pelvis and your back aren't swaying around too much. Let's stay with this just for these last 15 seconds. We have a small circle coming up with this top leg. For 4, 3, 2, sweep and hold, repoint through the foot and take just small circles. Now notice, as you're circling, do you feel like your body's swaying? Can we keep ourselves really still and stable? And that leg might just start to feel a little heavy. We'll continue to breathe. Good, you're almost there. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Pop yourself up onto your hands and knees. Take a quick round of cat and cow, where we scoop through the belly and then open up across the front of the chest. And we'll take that just 2 more times, rounding, scooping. Opening out. Last one, rounding, scooping, and opening up. All right, so I'm gonna stay to my left with my left leg working, and my top left arm is either gonna reach up high into the sky or the hand can come onto the hip. My bottom right hand stays down. Let's lift the leg, and again, we sweep and kick it back. Sweep, kick it back. A little bit more work now, being upright fully onto the knee. So again, if you need to make any adjustments, bringing yourself back down to that first variation that we did, you're more than welcome. We have about 4 more kicks. Trying to keep our spine really still and stable. Good, take it again for 2. And that last one, the foot comes down. When you lift yourself all the way up, fingertips go behind the back of the head. And we will lean over to that side and stack back up with control. And again, we lean, using that core connection. It's almost, you're imagining like a string pulling, connecting to the hip each time we exhale. 2 more. Last one. And we'll relax. Switch over to the other side. So we'll be down now onto our left forearm to begin. And remember, you have the option of the bottom knee staying bent, or if you're ready to go full legs extending out, more than welcome. Hand can be down to the ground or hand on the hip, or even arm reaching up to the sky. Sweep the leg forward and then flex, sweeping it back. I want to make sure, if we do have straight leg, that the leg is slightly forward of the body. If you're resting directly on the hip bone, it does not feel great. So I would recommend just moving that leg a touch forward for better control and stability and a little less ouchy on the hip. We keep breathing. And again, trying to feel this abdominal contraction, help bring a sense of stability and control to our movements. Last 2. Now the next one, sweep, but then repoint through the foot. We go little circles. Check out what's happening with your bottom shoulder. I just had to lift up out of mine. I was starting to slink down. It's less about lifting up through the shoulder though, and instead, I want you to feel like the ribs, the side body is trying to lift up and away from the ground. Good, you're almost here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're back up onto our hands and knees. We'll take again a quick cat and cow. So just finding kind of some fluid movement again through the back, through the hips, across the front of the chest. Last one. And then let's go ahead and set ourselves up where we have the left hand down onto the ground, right leg's extended. Remember, a hand could be up to the sky or a hand onto the hip. I'm gonna tuck my back toes for a little bit more stability. And then sweeping the leg forward, flex, sweeping it back. Part of this challenge is keeping the leg around hip height, which you might find on one side of the body is more accessible than the other. That's pretty normal. This is my treble side right here. So I'm working it through it as fast as I can. And I'm gonna work to, again, keep that abdominal contraction as well as steadying with my breath. Okay, last one. And then the foot comes down. Lift yourself all the way up. We're in our side bends, hands behind the back of the head. As we lean, exhale, stack. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stack. 2 more. Last one. And then relax. We're coming down onto our hands and knees once again. But this time I want you to walk your knees a little bit behind the hips. You're setting up almost like a kneeling plank, but just for a moment. With control, begin to lower all the way down into your belly. Hands will stay underneath your shoulders. And I'll have us start where we just lift the chest up a few inches, and then you lower back down with control. Now notice when I lower, I'm gonna start to lift the thighs just softly off of the mat. So it's this very gentle rocking teeter-totter movement front to back. Strengthening the muscles up, running along the sides of the spine. And we're keeping our glutes engaged, core engaged. Last one. And then lower. So now arms are gonna reach, hovering off of the mat. Legs lift, chest is lifted, and we swim with the legs, swim with the arms. Instead of looking forward, look down and out so the neck is long with the rest of your spine. We continue to swim. We breathe about 15 seconds. Good. Feel your shoulders move down and away from the ears. Make sure they're not clenching up for these last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push up onto your knees. Take a quick child's pose, sending your butt towards your heels. And then shifting forward, finding again, knees underneath the hips. We tuck the toes, lift up into our full plank position. Just hold that plank. Nothing too fancy here. We're gonna try to feel the fingers spread. Steady with your breath. Good, just another 10 seconds. It's a quickie. Here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, knees come down. Take your child's pose, send your butt towards your heels. Steady with your breath. Walk the hands over to one side of your mat and just breathe a little deeper through that side body for a moment. And then we'll walk the hands over to the other side. Coming back through to center. And then we can finish up today by just taking a pause, letting one hand come to rest onto the chest, one hand coming to just rest on the belly. Take a few rolls of these shoulders up and down the back. Feel grounded in your body. Feel rooted in your breath. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and I look forward to seeing you next time.